again, welcome to Spotlight. Today we're going to be joined by Bruce Schmidt, the Vice President and General Manager of Okemo Mountain Resort. And we're going to be talking about their forthcoming season and a little bit about the last season and the impact of COVID-19. Bruce, welcome.
Well, thanks, Ralph. It's good to be on.
Okay, now, what was the impact? Very briefly, what was the impact of COVID-19 on Okemo last year?
Well, we stopped skiing on the 15th. The last day of skiing was the 14th of March. The impact was obviously to our seasons pass holders and the people in the town not having the resort operating. We were getting into what was probably going to be a good spring ski season. The snow lasted a while, so I think that it probably took away, a good March and April, I think our seasons pass holders were disappointed, as were ticket holders, but we're hoping that this year, with a few things a little different, we'll get right back into it.
Okay, now, just out of curiosity, I know the snow hasn't even fallen yet, but do you have any idea about an opening date?
Yeah, our plan is to open on Saturday, November 21st.
I didn't think you'd be that specific.
Yep.
So that'll be before Thanksgiving?
Yes, it will be.
Okay. Now, are there any new features, trails or equipment that you'd like to tell us about at Okemo?
Well, we had a pretty robust capital, work to be done. We had to postpone we had two projects, a couple lift projects and a revitalization of the base area that didn't get done this summer, but we plan on doing them hopefully going into next summer. But we did, other maintenance work with the lifts. We did our normal carpet and upgrades in those areas, but really no on mountain, with the exception of some snowmaking maintenance. But it was more of a maintenance type capital season than it was any type of additions.
Okay, now let's talk about the coming season. And how would you begin with the first major change? If someone wants to go skiing, what do they have to do?
Well, you're going to hear a lot about, a few things. Safety. Safety is going to be how we make our decisions when it comes to skiing and, at the resort. We're going to require masks for everyone that's going to be skiing and as at the resort, which is what we've been doing now. There's a mandate with the state of Vermont, and we're following that, and we're requiring that with all of our summer activities. We're going to be making decisions in regards to social distancing and physical distance that we'll be following the guidelines that are in place for some of our restaurants and some of our buildings. Probably the biggest change is going to be that people are going to need a reservation to ski.
Okay, so what would they do? Would they call ahead or?
It'll be online, okay. And all this information is on the Okemo website. All the resorts in North America, 34 resorts that Vail owns, will be doing it this way. And from opening day until December, I believe December 6th, is for seasons pass holders only. So we won't sell any day tickets at that point. And what seasons pass holders will be able to do is they will be able to go online and pick days to ski. So they will be able to pick 7 priority days that they can do if they wanted to, Christmas holiday or February vacation. And then they will be able to then pick other days to ski a week ahead of when they would ski. So they will always, having a season's pass will always give you preference than someone that's going to buy just a day ticket.
Okay. Now, you get to the mountain and you're at the lift. How is that going to work for the social distancing?
So what we will be doing is we won't be requiring people to ride with people that they aren't in their group. So we won't have singles lines. We will have people will get in line if they're a single. They'll get in line just like everyone else. So in a chair that only carries 3, we'll only put 1 person in. A chair that carries 4, we'll put 2 in, and a chair that carries 6, we'll put 3 in. If they want to be separated. If they're a family, we can put all 6 in.
Okay. Okay. Now, so you take the lift up to the peak and you get off, and now you're on the mountain. What are you going to be doing to maintain social distancing while you're skiing down the trails?
Well, we'll with this reservation system, the idea is to maintain physical distancing, so having a certain number on the mountain. So, on the trails, it will be, there's a certain expectation, kind of like people are walking on a trail now in the summer, of giving some distancing. One thing that I think is important to note, though, is we do not plan to, we plan on having our snowmaking be the same as it was last year. We're not cutting back on that. We plan to having our grooming the same as what it was. We plan on having the lifts that we would normally run. The idea behind it, and from our CEO Rob Katz, is we want the mountain experience, the winter experience, to be second to none. We understand, and we all know, that the lodge experience will be different, riding the lift will be different, but being out there on the mountain, skiing, we're going to shoot for the same number of trails, and still really give. Okemo is well known for snowmaking and grooming, and we anticipate that to continue.
Okay. Now, what about instruction, like teaching kids and, just older folks?
We will be offering lessons, and with the lessons you do receive. So if a person takes a lesson, they will have a reservation to ski on that day. There will be health checks done for people in lessons for the protection of our staff, as they're going to be closer than at other times. And we're only going to offer group lessons with 6 or less in the lesson. Okay. And there will be some lessons that won't be offered, some different types and groups, but not all that has been decided upon at this point. But we will be offering some lessons, private lessons, for people. Okay.
Now, either while you're on the mountain or when you come down and you want to go into a restaurant or to a lodge, how is that going to be affected by the COVID-19 restrictions?
Well, we're not going to be any different than other restaurants at this point, and if it continues with the state of Vermont mandate, there's certain limitations that can be in the buildings, so we will adhere to that. So there may be situations and times when we have to have people at the door and only allow a certain number of people in the lodge. Okay. We're going to be encouraging people to boot up in the car and go right to the lift. Not go through the lodge and try to have the experience be more like some people call it old school. Get up, get to this thing, put your stuff on, go right to the lift.
Okay, now you still are going to have folks, at least I remember doing this, who will want to bring in lunch or something like that. Yep. How is that going to be handled any differently, or?
How that's going to be handled is there will be sections of the lodges for people to eat with their own food. I mean, we've always allowed people to bring their own food in. We're going to have it more segregated, so the people that are buying food can be in one area, and then the other area will be, and there will be another area. And
Oh.
most of our food will be limited cooked meals, cooked food, and a lot of grab and go items. We will not have any bars open, so we will sell alcohol and single serve wine, or beer and single serve wine in cans, but we will not have any a bar service, mixed drinks.
Okay. I hope you're still gonna have your chili.
I think we're going to have the chili, yes.
Okay. Now, what about some of the ancillary facilities you have, like the ice house? Are you going to be doing the social distancing there too?
We will. We do plan on having the ice house, but again, probably limited number of people will be able to skate at any one time.
Okay. And swimming, is this the same thing going to apply to the swimming pool and the exercise areas that you have?
Yeah, we do anticipate the spring house opening here after Labor Day at some point. Presently, what we're doing is for people that are staying in the Jackson Gore Inn, we have the outdoor pool open for them, but they have to make a reservation to use it, and it's in 2-hour blocks. So probably similar to that we've been doing for the spring house.
Okay. Now, what about when somebody wants to call up and they don't have any place to stay and they're seeking a rental from you?
Like a room, a lodging.
Yeah.
So they can call up. We do adhere to the governor's travel map. So we would ask where the person is coming from, and then we would look at the map to see whether they would be able to stay with us or not. That's still a limitation, and we're not sure what's going to happen, with that. Obviously, we hope it is relaxed, and there is a way that COVID, becomes less prevalent, and we can, open up some of these places where people are visiting. But right now, we would ask, and a person would not be able to make a reservation if they were coming from an area that was on the map in yellow or red.
Okay. Now, normally you used to have pickup buses going through town, various motels and other places where skiers were.
Yep.
Is that going to change at all?
No, that will be the same as what it always has been. So we'll run the in-town shuttle on weekends and holidays.
Okay, will there be any limitation on the number of people who can get on the bus?
Yes, there will be. I think it's actually 25. I think it's actually half. So if it's a bus that can take 50, I think it's 25 people. We would again follow all the regulations that the state has, and put together for COVID-19.
Okay, now let's see. Can you think of anything else that is going on that's being affected by the COVID-19 restrictions?
Well, there's a lot. Obviously, there's a lot of things. We are making. I can say we're looking as an enterprise and the entire company of how we're going to operate certain aspects of our business. So many times people are calling and they're looking and they're asking questions that we don't necessarily know too much about right now. We will be, most likely not having any events going on during the winter, like fireworks and other things, just because we want to maintain physical distancing and,
Okay.
and really our goal is to get open and to stay open. So we're doing all these things, whether it's wearing a mask, whether it's, limiting, having reservations, different limited food options. It's really to protect our staff and to protect our guests. Safety is driving all the decisions that we are making from the top on down. And we're really looking through all these and really trying to make sure that we're following the state mandates. And a lot of times, what we're doing is actually a little bit, we're making our own rules that are a little bit more than even some of the ones that the state has.
Okay, now, what about some of the programs that you run? For example, school kids here in the local area.
Yep.
Are they still going to be able to participate via those programs?
That has not been discussed. I would probably think, I don't know what the schools want to do. Most likely the schools will have some limitations on that. And, I would really want us to think that through, because when those kids go up there, they do have a tendency to spend a lot of time, in the lodge warming up, or then they might out on the slopes. So we have not had any discussion with the schools about that at this point. But I would think that they would want to probably look at that and see how that was going to come together, whether it could be done or not.
Okay, those school kids would obviously affect the number of people you can have on the mountain at any time.
True, but midweek it's probably not that big of a deal. It probably wouldn't be that much of a problem. We would want safety to come into play and make sure that it was the right thing to do. We don't have much to do with it because we aren't the chaperones, but there would be so many things that go into that. That I would think that the schools, with everything else that they've got going on, would probably really want to seriously look at that, whether they would want to do it or not.
Yeah, well, actually, like you mentioned, the schools do have their own set of problems.
Yeah.
Now, will the ski patrol still be active?
Oh yeah, ski patrol. Again, the on-mountain experience. We don't anticipate that, being much different. The snowmaking, the grooming. We'll have ski patrollers, out on the slopes. We're still going to have, our terrain parks. We may relook at how we have them set up, just so we don't have congregate. That's one of the things that we're trying to look at is where are there points or places where there's a lot of congregating? Terrain parks, kids like to watch each other jump off jumps, and, so how are we going to watch that and really work through all those things? And that's why, in the lifts, we're telling people it's, person's got a set of skis on, you should have your tips to their tails, so that's about 6 feet, distance. And we want people in their own cohort and their own group to be together, and everyone else, and others to be in their separate. We're really watching those type of congregating points and where those might be.
Okay. One question, and this is something that a few friends of mine always used to like, was early morning skiing. Is that still going to be permitted?
What do you mean by?
About an hour before the formal lifts open.
We don't have anything anymore. Basically, the lifts open. If they open at 9, our goal, what we tell our employees is, if our lifts are ready to go at 5 minutes of 9, we should open them up. But we don't have any early public skiing prior to that.
Okay. Now, I assume one of your problems is going to be just getting recruiting staff for all of this. You've got housekeeping, you've got on-mountain services. How is that coming?
Well, it's coming. Let's face it. There are some areas that aren't as. We don't have as many applicants as others. We will not have any international staff this year because of the government's. They cut all the visas for H-2B visas and J-1 visas, so we will not have any more international staff. But we're actively recruiting. The unemployment, unfortunately, is higher, but that should be helpful to us in some ways. We're looking at how can we get unique with some of our jobs. We're not going to have, going to have limited number of people skiing on any day, so we have to figure out where's the best use of our staff. But we will continue to have some areas that we'll struggle with, and other areas we'll be okay with. I mean, we'll probably have some, we will definitely have some employees who are year-round, full-time employees that are trained in other jobs, so they can go. As you start prioritizing, it doesn't really matter if you have a ski instructor if you don't have a lift operator to run the lift. So the priority is to run the lift. So we need to make sure we got that, and then you work your way down. So we're working on that, and we'll be doing some job sharing, no doubt.
Okay. Now, one of the things that I think everyone is wondering about, whether it's Okemo or the schools or colleges or even businesses, what happens if there's a major surge with the COVID-19?
Well,
I mean, is this it's sort of difficult to plan for the unknown.
it is. Again, we are going to do whatever we can do. Safety is going to trump all, and we're going to continue to use that in our decision making.
Okay.
So we understand that there could be an outbreak, and I think it's probably expected that throughout our company that there will be an outbreak someplace, and I'm not sure there wouldn't be, some situation where a resort has to close for a period of time, to get it under control. But, I think the resorts want to continue to be safety first, control what we can control, and by having limited, not as many people, coming to the resort, going through a reservation system on any day, by being able to physically distance, on the mountain, requiring mask usage, encouraging employees and people when they don't feel good to not come to work. We already do and will continue to do health screening for every employee every day. And we've been doing that for the last probably month.
Does that include the temperature thing?
Yep. Every employee has to go through, there's a screening site. There's actually 3 screening sites, every day right now. And we'll probably have those still there, but we'll add more employees so we can do more, put more people through. But we follow the state of Vermont, mandate of, ask the question, have you had any symptoms? Have you been around anybody that's had COVID? Been tested for positive? Have you tested positive for COVID? And whether you've traveled internationally or domestically in the past 14 days. So we get asked that question every day, and we get a temperature check.
Okay.
So all employees, that's happening right now. It's been that way for the last month.
Okay. Now, Bruce, if somebody wanted to get more information on this, what would be the best way for them to contact?
I would go to okemo.com, and there's right on the front page it says how we're opening and information on skiing for the winter.
Okay.
And it's right there, and all this is there, and there's frequently asked questions. We are encouraging people. You will get the best. You'll have the most opportunity to ski by having a season's pass. That is going to be. That's just the way it's going to be. There will be preference for season's pass holders, to go skiing. And we understand that it's a little different because people are going to be asked to make some decisions about. You get up and you're like, hey, it's a nice day to ski. It's a little bit harder, but we have. There's been a lot of work put into this, and the feeling really is that we should be able to cover and all the days that people want to ski. Do I think that there will be a handful? Probably. There may be some, but for the most part, I think that the way this is being done, and if you have a season's pass, we should be able to cover, everybody that wants to ski.
Now, this season pass is, as I recall, it's good at all the Vale resorts.
Yes, it is, yep.
Okay, well, Bruce, I really want to thank you for coming in here to talk about this, and I wish you good luck in this. And if you have any closing thoughts, I'd really appreciate them.
Well, I think I appreciate you having me come in. I mean, the success that we're going to have in the ski season is really going to be everyone in the town and in the region doing their part, to keep COVID at bay, wearing masks, social distancing, washing their hands, doing all the things that we have come to be part of our everyday life. But the resort is going to do everything it can, and safety is going to be how we're making our decisions. And we're, we know that the town and the region will do the same, because we're all in this together, and we all want to have a winter ski season.
Well, again, thank you very much, Bruce, and good luck. And I hope you do have a good season.
Thank you, and thanks for inviting me on, Ralph.
We'll see you sometime in the future.